Crack. The front door of my lakeside cabin exploded inward like a bad special effect in a low-budget revenge flick. Shards of wood spraying across the kitchen floor as if the house itself was vomiting in protest. There she was, Evelyn Hargrove, the self-appointed queen of Willow Creek Estates HOA, gripping a sledgehammer with the manic glee of someone who'd finally snapped after one too many neighborhood newsletters. Her face, a mask of overdone fillers and fake tan, beamed with that smug satisfaction you see on people who think rules are their personal superpower, until her eyes locked on me, unflinching at the table, and the retired FBI agent next to me casually stirring his coffee, badge gleaming like a middle finger to her entire empire. Let me rewind 6 months to paint the picture of how Alex Rivera, a 42-year-old ex-journalist turned freelance writer, ended up in this absurd standoff. I'd inherited my aunt's cozy cabin on Willow Lake after she passed. 2 acres of peace with a weathered dock that had seen more sunsets than most marriages last. It was my escape from the city grind, where I could work remotely without the constant buzz of deadlines. But the cabin bordered Willow Creek Estates, a gated community of cookie-cutter homes where every lawn was manicured to within an inch of its life, and community standards meant everyone lived in fear of a pink violation slip. Evelyn Hargrove had ruled the HOA board for 8 years, unchallenged because who wants to argue with a woman who treats bylaws like holy scripture? Late 50s, with hair sprayed into a helmet that could deflect bullets. She drove a gleaming black SUV with plates reading Rullion. I kid you not, that's how subtle she was. Her perfume was a weaponized blend of lavender and superiority, arriving like a scout before her endless lectures on maintaining aesthetic harmony. Our first clash happened at Aunt Lydia's memorial potluck, of all places. While folks shared stories over casserole, Evelyn cornered me by the punch bowl, her smile as genuine as a politician's promise. Terribly sorry for your loss, dear, she cooed, her voice a nasal whine that made every S sound like a leaking tire. But now's the perfect time to discuss integrating your property into our HOA. Just $450 a month for dues. Think of the enhanced curb appeal. She whipped out a form like it was a condolence card. I declined politely, explaining the cabin was independent, grandfathered in since 1952. Her eyes narrowed, lipstick cracking. We'll see about that, scribbler. She spat scribbler like it was an insult, probably because my old job involved exposing small-time crooks. Ironic, considering what was coming. 3 weeks later, the pettiness kicked off with a certified letter claiming my dock was encroaching on communal waterway access and demanding its demolition or face stringent enforcement measures. The legalese was so dense it could have been written by a robot overdosing on thesaurus.com. But here's what Evelyn didn't count on. Journalists document everything, and I'd learned from my aunt's stories to dig deep. I spent a weekend in the county records office, a dusty crypt smelling of mildew and misplaced dreams, unearthing the original deed from 1952 granting perpetual access rights. The dock was even listed as a historical feature. One key lesson. In property wars, history is your best ammo. I sent her copies, highlighted in neon pink for irony, with a note, "Happy reading. Let's keep things harmonious." Her reply, not mail, but a 7 a.m. ambush in her SUV, tires crunching gravel like she owned the road. She stormed up, heels sinking like stakes in vampire ground, enveloped in her perfume fog. "Listen here, scribbler," she hissed, waving a manicured finger. "I've harmonized 6 holdouts off this lake. You'll be 7. Willow Creek was textbook suburbia. 6,500 souls divided between old-timers who remembered when community meant barbecues not background checks, and newcomers who thought luxury meant matching mailboxes. Evelyn's HOA lorded over 70% of the shoreline, with her sister married to the town council chair and the local deputy owing her for campaign contributions. Code for a fancy grill that screamed conflict of interest. The real fun started with a dawn chainsaw symphony on a lazy Sunday. I staggered out in pajamas to find an HOA maintenance team erecting a barbed wire fence across my driveway, blocking my only exit. Evelyn supervised in a lime green blazer that clashed with everything except her ego. Clipboard clutched like a scepter. "Good morning, Scribbler," she trilled, her whistle-s slicing the air. "Just reclaiming easement rights per our revised plat map. Your access road is now communal, updated for efficiency." She said, updated, like it was a synonym for fabricated. The crew was hacking at a century-old maple my aunt had planted, the one with family initials carved like a living timeline. Phone in hand, I started recording. "Fellas, mind showing your permits for this operation?" The saw sputtered silent. The lead guy mumbled about being volunteers. Volunteers with industrial gear? I zoomed in. "And that tree's protected. State fines $150 per diameter inch. This one's 38 inches. Do the math." I called the conservation office on speaker. "Hey, Carla. Got unpermitted chainsaws on the Rivera Maple at 712 Willow Lane." Carla's outrage boomed. "The heritage tree? On my way." The crew bolted, leaving tools like cowards in retreat. Evelyn fumed, clipboard shaking. "This is far from over." A loose page fluttered down. I accidentally stepped on it, grinding it into the dirt. That afternoon, back in records hell, the clerk, a grizzled vet named Bud who'd seen more scandals than soap operas, slid me coffee in a mug reading Paperwork, the Silent Killer. Evelyn's revised map was filed suspiciously fresh, surveyor sig looking forged. Digging deeper revealed her pattern. 5 families bullied out with fake surveys. All properties flipped to Hargrove Holdings LLC. Subtle as a neon sign. I spreadsheeted all dates, sales, sob stories. The Limps had endured 9 months before selling. Their son lost his spot in a top engineering program mid-relocation. Bitter brew. Word spread. By dusk, Mia from the corner store pulled me aside amid paint cans. "Heard the ruckus. The Limps helped my kid with math homework. Free. We're rooting for you." Thus, Willow Watchers formed, a chat group ballooning from 5 to 15 overnight. Carla vented first. "That harpy salted my heirloom tomatoes, claiming they attracted pests. My grandma's recipe." By dawn, horror tales flooded in. Monday unleashed the violation avalanche. Daily certified mail. Mailbox 2.1 inches too low, $40. Garden gnome offensive to standards, $60. Porch light insufficiently uniform, $90. The flag one stung. My aunt's old stars and stripes faded beyond code. I'd written stories on veterans. This was personal sacrilege. 3 weeks, 52 citations, $2,300 owed. But Evelyn's error? Every slip bore her signature, dated like a confession diary. Lesson: let tyrants paper their own noose. She must have binged courtroom shows, because next came environmental goons in a district van, looking sheepish. "Complaint on your dock eroding habitats," the tech said, clipboard trembling. I poured coffee. "Sure. Inspect, but check this 1952 core permit. Signed by Major Elias Hargrove." Pause for drama. "Relative of Evelyn's?" The boss sputtered. Turns out Uncle Eli was the family rebel who'd greenlit the doc she now hated. They poked around, apologized, whispered, "She calls weekly, office joke now," but her photos meant trespass. Game on. I splurged on 10 wildlife cams, night vision beasts uploading to the cloud, positioned like a stakeout. Pine scent evoked ants' tales of resilience. Night 1. Guards fumbling like Keystone Cops. One snapping doc pics, the other tripping over a squirrel into mud. Night 4. Jackpot, a guard dousing my cherry tree with goop. Lab test. Gasoline herbicide cocktail. Property sabotage. I duplicated footage, filed with state cops, local ones busy. Then posted anonymously on the community forum. HOA goons poisoning trees, yours next? Shares hit 1,200 in hours. Comments seethed with biblical fury. Evelyn nuked the page via mass reports. Zuck's bots oblivious to suburban drama. Then Rita Klein called. Ex-board whistleblower. Diner. Noon. Bring storage. Over greasy fries tasting like payback. She handed a binder thick as a Bible. 6 years embezzling. Dues funneled to her LLC. Buying distressed homes cheap. Reselling inflated. Transfers. Deeds. Minutes. She fudged them all. Tally. $35,000 per flip. $1.5 million total. Questioners got harassed. The Taylors audited the books. Their garage mysteriously torched. Faulty wiring. Our group swelled to 40. Meeting in Carla's shed over chili. Adversity's best glue. Evelyn countered with smears. Suddenly I was the unhinged writer with grudge issues. Clerks whispering. Deliveries delayed. She twisted my old exposé on corruption into proof. I fabricated stories. Metallic tang of stress hit. But Aunt taught. Watch the enemy overextend. Saturday. My kayak motor seized. Sand in the gears. Oars slashed. Mechanic. $2,500. Someone's vendetta. Cams? Tampered with paint. I documented. Claimed insurance. Built the dossier like a novel plot. Next. County notice deeming the cabin blighted eyesore. Slated for demo. Signed by cousin Vernon Hargrove. Inspector. Sunday research. Vernon Cert lapse 2020. Database gold. His condemns. 19 non-HOA spots. All to Hargrove LLC below value. Now McMansions. The Limps Bakery. Taylor's workshop. Erased for beige blandness. Monday. Vernon waddled up in a borrowed truck. Suit rumpled like his ethics. Inspection time, he barked. Recording. License first. He froze. Bolted. Dropping papers. I compiled victim lists. Patterns screaming racket. Whispers grew. A deputy tipped. She's losing grip. Board mutiny brewing. Evelyn escalated. Fake complaints to utilities. Cutting my power for safety. I jury-rigged solar. Turned it into forum fuel. Then the big lie. Town meeting where she painted me as threat to harmony, citing anonymous reports of my erratic behavior. Crowd murmured. I stayed silent, noting allies. Lesson. Silence starves the beast. Tensions boiled as Evelyn's antics turned clownish. She patrolled in golf carts, measuring hedges with a ruler, finding a kid's lemonade stand for unpermitted commerce. Our group leaked her emails. Hilarious rants on deviant color schemes. I connected with ex-FBI pal, Lena Torres, who sniffed fraud. This reeks of RICO racketeering. We amassed evidence. Footage, docs, testimonies. Rita's binder revealed arson links. Community pulse shifted. Folks boycotted HOA events. Evelyn panicked, hiring consultants, thugs, for enforcement. The Whisper network buzzed. Evelyn planned a final resolution. Lena. She's overplaying, desperate fools self-incriminate. We prepped a trap. Hidden cams. Live stream setup via tech was pal. Community rally concealed. Saturday 5 a.m. 150 locals gathered quietly. Victims front row. Streams live. HOA showdown. Watch tyranny crumble. Viewers climbed to 900. 6. Her convoy rolled. SUV leading. Guards. Hammer guy. Signature stupidity. Her media van. She thought solo ambush. I sat visible. Lena beside. Creds out. Evelyn stormed. Alex Rivera. By HOA decree. You're evicted for $60,000 violations. Surrender or we enter. No move. Last warning. Scribbler. She seized the hammer. Purple ensemble absurd as a villain costume. Crack. Door splintered. She burst in, panting triumph until spotting Lena's badge. Hammer dropped. Who? Agent Torres. FBI retired. Keep trespassing. Footage's gold. Face drained. Crowd emerged. Victims. Phones up. Trespassers, she screeched. Guards fled. Her lawyer babbled, legitimate action. News crew. Live. HOA boss commits felonies. Evelyn backed up. I own this. Counsel sis. Deputy mine. New voice. FBI active agent. They're arrested with Vernon. You're next. Extortion. Fraud. Arson. She tripped fleeing. Faceplant by Rullion plate. Chat erupted. I revealed. 1928 deed clause. Hostility reverts land to Rivera estate. Her axe triggered it. For 112 acres mine. Gasps. Relax, HOA dissolved. Deeds free. No future HOAs. Victims buy back cheap. Funds to community trust. Cheers. Evelyn cuffed. Pleading. Medical issues. For values. You torch dreams. Smeared service. Poisoned lives. Enjoy prison, no rules to twist. Crowd roared relief. Streams hit 35K. 6 months on. Lake thrives. Kids splash freely. Limps bakery booms. Reforms pass, Hargrove Act mandates audits. Charges for abuse. 15 states adopt. Evelyn's mansion, senior center. Her cell views inspire nationwide resistance. Property soars 25% in freedom's glow. Festival draws 4,000. I keynote. Tyrants thrive on silence. Document. Unite. Strike. Courage plus proof equals victory. Was Evelyn the real victim of overzealous standards? Or did her power trip deserve this epic fall? Right or wrong?